Chicago pizza is the best pizza in the world.
Really? It's not pizza. It's like a pizza pot pie.
No, it's the best pizza in the world.
I think you get the.
I can fish. It's the best pizza.
Welcome to Phat Chat. We're living large, supreme. I'm your host, Rocco Cafferelli, with the host, Gerard, Haran. And here we have our special guest, Coach Mike Ditka.
The legend, the Hall of Famer. You only got to be a Hall of Fame in college, pro, win a Super Bowl as a player, assistant, and a head coach. Coach, it is an absolute honor to be here with you, man.
Where'd you get all that information?
Yeah, I think he knows where Wikipedia is.
Yeah.
See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
It's amazing. We're honored to have you on our premiere episode. And we hope that once we hit our 100th, you'll come back.
I don't understand why they call it the fat.
Snacks are best saved for later.
Well, we're doing it with a PH8.
Yeah.
It's not.
We're
There's
hip.
no body shaming involved with this. Yeah, not at all.
We think we could have, we may have been able to anchor the right side of your line.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're bigger than my guys.
His dad said we were a quarter ton of fun, but I think that's a bit of a lie. I mean, you'd have to throw in a place kicker and a ref, too.
So, Coach, you came from Pennsylvania, right? Yeah. And you're an icon in Chicago. You got your Cubs stuff going on. Now we're down here in beautiful Naples, Florida. You've been all over the world. Where, if you had any place to be, would you be? What's your favorite place in the entire world?
But I think that's pretty simple. The places I live, Chicago is one, and Naples, Florida. I really love it. We came here about 30 years ago, and we built this golf club.
Beautiful.
8 of us. We had a meeting. We bought the land. We built the golf club. It's beautiful. There's no homes on this course. It's just a golf course. It's beautiful. It's as good a golf course you ever play or ever see. We're just going to be here long after I'm gone. So we got a great place. We really do. And I'm very proud of that I'm part of that group that did that.
Now, just on the Chicago tip, I got to ask, New York pizza or Chicago pizza?
You're silly about that. That doesn't even make any sense. I mean, Chicago pizza is the best pizza in the world.
Really?
It's not pizza. It's like a pizza pot pie.
No, it's the best pizza in the world.
I think you get the.
I can fish. It's the best pizza.
You know who you're talking to. I'm talking to the juice box guy.
Hands down, if Coach says it's the best, it's the best.
Ditka. Has it always been Ditka or?
It's Dishko.
Dishko.
Well, that was my dad. You know, my dad started out D-Y-Z-C-K-O, Dishko, Ukrainian. And they changed it, some of my uncles changed it to D-I-S-C-O. My dad changed it to D-I-T-K-A. And I'm serious. His brothers had a different name than him.
You could have been Mike Disco.
You could have been Mike Disco.
I was.
Your life would have taken on a totally different trajectory.
Right.
Mike Disco. Who would win the Bears and Mike Disco? There's a hurricane named Disco.
The polar bear.
Not working.
Nope.
But I was, the 50s, I was a disco king anyway, so I was rock and roll. Anyway, but no, that's a fact. So we're the only people really, and I have an aunt, Mary, and she took the name Ditka, but everybody else had Disco or Dyko or something else. I mean, what the hell? They didn't even know we were relatives.
Whose mustache is more famous, yours or Tom Selleck's?
Tom Selleck.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah, Tom Selleck, yeah.
Okay.
I think, no, I didn't go for that reason. I don't know, we had a place in, when I was in Dallas, and we called it was a restaurant, but it was the old theme, so all the owners grew mustaches. And once I grew it, I never cut it off, so that's what it was about.
I mean, that's Ditka all the way.
Yeah, I like to think as a New York Yankee fan that the Yankees and Steinbrenner with the, no hair below the lip, Donnie Baseball came in and made it a thing.
Well, Steinbrenner got his rules, that's right, too. I mean, you can have rules. You can't do that today. Athletes are going to have what they want to have, and that's it, period.
You didn't live under 24/7 scrutiny. You didn't have cameras. You didn't have cell phones. Can you imagine, like, Mickey Mantle today with, cell phone cameras, all the stories you hear about him?
Imagine Truman on Twitter.
I imagine the stories that you have coming up through living the lifestyle with the boys when you knew it was going to stay secret.
Will you give us a couple, Coach?
Yeah.
Please.
Well, you're right. You know, it wasn't that big a deal. Sports wasn't that big a deal. We were celebrities, but not to the degree that they're celebrities today.
Yeah.
So if after the game, if we wanted to go to the cottage,
You guys were real men.
Well, we
Yeah.
went out,
allowed to be.
we went out, drank beer, and that was it. No one worried about it. No one bothered about it. Nobody made a fool of themselves. But you know, we drank beer. We drank a lot of beer when I was young. I look at guys today. I don't know. They're really they're under a magnifying glass
Yeah.
now. I mean, every move they make, somebody's going to see it. Somebody's going to relate it to the media or somebody. And so, I mean, we didn't have that.
Right.
I mean, it was crazy. I mean, people didn't care about us. I mean, here, I got a Cubs thing on. They cared more about the Cubs until we won in '63, and they should have. The Cubs are Chicago's team.
It's also their handlers, their agents are saying, do this, go here, be this, wear this. You know, it's almost like you work your whole life to be the person you want to be, and then everybody's like, great, don't be like that anymore. You know.
What's your definition of happiness?
I don't think you expect too much out of life. I think to me, I'm happy. Am I ecstatic about everything? No. Am I critical about things? Probably too much, because I think that you should enjoy your life. I don't think you should act like a fool if you're an athlete. I think if you make a tackle, you score a touchdown, wonderful. A lot of people have done that before, and a lot of people will do that again.
That's right.
Just relax and enjoy it and do it. Don't be a showboat. That's the only thing that bothers me about pro sport. I see a lot of classy guys, and I see a lot of guys that don't show a lot of class, and that bothers me.
Yeah, you can only do it in pro sports too. Can you imagine any other job? Like you're an accountant and you file taxes. You're like, yeah, I just filed this tax.
Yeah. I got your $600 break. Okay.
Celebrating.
Spikes the stapler.
Get in the hole!
You know, you're talking about what your happiness is, where you'd love to be here and in Chicago, and like you built this as an incredible spot. And I remember I read something about you saying that, you know, in America, if you work hard, the opportunities present themselves. So I just wanted to sort of ask you what America is to you.
Well, my dad worked on a railroad. You know, he came home. He was a car repairman. He burner, welder. So he came home. He worked every day. He went to work at 7. He worked 8 to 4 shift. Stopped at the beer garden on his way home. Came home, showered up, went back to the beer garden. That was his life. And he raised us. We didn't have anything, but we didn't need anything.
Right.
You know, we had what you needed. When I needed a bike, I got a bike. You know, not everybody got a bike. And that's just the way it was. So he provided for us. When I needed money, he gave it to me. I wasn't on an allowance or anything, but he made me work for it. There was I had a paper route from the time I was 8 years old, delivering papers, and that's good. And all the money I made, I gave to them. They gave me a little bit of money every month.
That's what made you the great man you are
Yeah.
today.
There's that great saying, parents who give their kids everything that they never have turn their kids into everything that they never were, right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
that's the other side of it. To give them,
Appreciative. You
Yeah.
appreciate what you appreciate what your parents did for you. You appreciate the opportunities you have. This is the greatest country on earth. People don't understand it.
Amen.
We bad-mouth it, and it's ridiculous. Opportunity is there for everybody, but you got to seize it, and then you got to do something when you seize it.
Yeah.
You got to work.
they badmouth it, but they never leave.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, right?
I hate this place, but I'm staying. Sports Illustrated did a poll of all NFL soon-to-be free agents, and they said, you know, what is the most important thing for you when you're looking for a new place? Number 1 was money. Number 2 was sex. And number 3 was winning. Players want to go with a place where there's a nightlife and like all that other stuff.
You play the game because you love the game. You play the game because you want to win. And the thing you'll be remembered for is the championships you win. I mean, really, I think back to 1963. We, in the middle of that, the Packer run and the Colts run, we won a championship in Chicago. And that was great, you know. Went to Chicago, we won one in '85. There was a lot of other good teams at that time, but we won a championship. Those are the things you remember, and the players that you had on those teams will remember that.
And they're immortal. I mean, you look at a guy like Roger Staubach. You played with Roger Staubach, right?
Oh, yeah.
Roger Staubach, great quarterback. Now, this is a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and one of the things he's most famous for, he was with one woman his entire life. Can you imagine that today? Imagine the quarterback of the Dallas. I can name like 6 or 7 supermodels Tony Romo's dated before he got married. You know, it's just a different lifestyle completely. You have to almost be an entertainer, a playboy. You got to be on the back covers.
I'll tell you something. There's nobody like Roger Staubach. Believe me. He is one of a kind, and when the Lord made him, he threw away the mold because he's special. He is a special guy, and I can remember I got to the Cowboys as a player at the same time that Roger got there as a player. And it was pretty amazing. We had a quarterback named Craig Morton who was a really good football player. And the difference came down to leadership. And Roger was a leader. And he's, I think more than any other reason, he's the reason. I know how good our defense was. We had doomsday defense. Bob Lilly, we had this and that. He's the main reason that we won championships back then.
Do you have any good stories of when one night out in Chicago with the boys that stand out?
Not that I can repeat.
We're talking like Kenny Stabler's, or like the Snake as book, or something like that. Or,
No, we you know, it was kind of a thing. It wasn't only me; it was the whole team. We played a football game. We went to a place called Freddie Hattenberger had a place called the Cottage, which was famous in Chicago. You look it up. Every baseball player, every hockey player, well, they didn't have basketball then. Every football player came through Chicago, ended up at the Cottage at one time or another. A great place, great food, German restaurant. So we hung out there, and we drank a lot of beer. We really did.
You ever hang out with like Sofia Loren or any of those?
Oh, I think I missed that one.
You missed Sofia Loren? I mean, you were the rookie of the year, coach. You know,
think
you're
I
the rookie of the
missed
year.
those, yeah.
You got the glamour days of Hollywood, the starlets.
No. You know, don't forget, 1961 was my first year, and we used to go out and play the Rams out there in L.A. That was a big treat for us. But no, there were no Hollywood stars.
No?
back in the 60s, too, they had to have a second job out in the off season, right? It was.
Are you kidding me? We all had a job.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a job that paid me. My first football contract was $12,000 a year, 12.
Yeah.
And I was the sixth player picked in the first round. I had a $12,000 signing bonus with a contract with a $6,000 signing bonus. Now you figure that out. That's $18,000, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I go in. I had to make All-Pro Rookie of the Year, everything. I go in and talk to Hallis, and I sit down across from him, and you're not going to win that battle. But he says, well, kid, you had a good year, but you did this, and you missed curfew, and I had to fine you, and this and that. He said, but I'm going to give you $14,000 this year. I said, Coach, that doesn't make any sense. I said, I made 12, and the six with the bonus was 18 last year. He said, no. He said, you made 12. I made 18. I wouldn't sign a penny less than 18. As soon as I said it, he put out a contract for 18, and I signed it. Therefore, he knew what he was doing. I didn't know what he was doing, but he knew what he was doing. And that's a true story. So I'm sitting there, I thought, boys, I got him. No, I didn't get it.
Exactly.
I got it.
You walked away thinking you won.
And it was great. I mean, I wouldn't change it for anything. Negotiating with Coach Hallis, even when he hired me as the head coach, I didn't care what he paid me.
Yeah.
The only thing that mattered was the opportunity.
Sure.
I was the lowest paid head coach in the game when I was hired, and that's okay. But it worked out. We won a championship, and I had a loyalty to the Bears, that I always have. Because of Hallis.
I have to admit, I'm an Oakland Raider fan, but back in the Flores days.
I won't hold it against you.
Yeah.
No, Flores, Tom is a great guy.
Yeah, you and Tom are the only two that have won. That's what I was going to ask. Did you like being a player or a coach better?
I think when you're young and you can play, that's the greatest. I really do.
Yeah.
And then when you get older, I really enjoyed my years as an assistant coach. I got to learn the game. I got to learn under a coach like Tom Landry and our assistant coaches, Jim Myers, the guy. I got to work with them. And I understood the game of football was just not about knocking the other guy on his back. You had to understand how to attack them, how to set it up, what formations were, what movements meant. And so it really helped me. And my years with the Cowboys were the most important years to me, and then I got the opportunity to go and coach the Bears. That was fantastic. Yeah.
The Giants had an assistant coach, Tom Landry, and an assistant coach, Vince Lombardi, and neither of them ended up being the head coach of the Giants. How is that even possible?
Well, of course, Vince went to Green Bay, and of course, Green Bay was nowhere to go when Vince went there, and he made it. He completely transformed that whole thing and made the Green Bay Packers maybe the greatest franchise in the history of the game.
Who would win in a fight between a polar bear and Mike Ditka?
And Tom.
Uh-oh. Oh,
We'll scratch that out for the Chicago fans. We'll scratch that out.
No, I'm serious. I mean, they were. I mean, under Lombardi, they were fantastic. I think the greatest thing is we went up there in 1963. We opened the season up there against the Packers, and we beat them. And we went on and won the championship that year. But you weren't going anywhere unless you beat the Packers. I mean, that was where it started. I mean, and Hallis told us that. You know, our goal is to have a good football team and to win, but in order to do that, we have to beat the Packers. Not once, but twice.
And you had probably, and this is back in the day, you had 2-a-days, full padded practices. Now they can't even practice in pads. The offensive line play is so bad in the NFL, you can never hit anybody anymore.
Well, you said it, I didn't.
Gerard and I were talking, and we were saying that, you know, this 2020 ticket coming up for the next election, there'd be nobody better than you and Chuck Norris running.
Yeah. Let it
What do
ride.
you think? Would you do that? Would you run with Chuck Norris as your running mate?
I don't think America's ready for that yet.
I think that's just we need to bring it back. That's what
Talk
America
about
needs.
leadership. We need leadership.
We need this,
Yeah.
right?
You know, it's still the greatest country on earth. We may not agree with a lot of things, but it's still the greatest country on earth.
Definitely.
Yeah, you know, that's only a recent thing, too. You used to be like my dad is a Republican, my mom's a Democrat. I don't think that could happen today, especially, you know, where Rocco lives in Brooklyn. It's like, if you're one or the other. It's like,
The polarization.
The Hatfields and McCoys.
You're an American.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's all it
And it's got to go back to that. America first. I agree.
Football players are bigger, stronger, faster. The games are in HD. But one thing that is absolutely not nearly as good as it was during your day is Saturday Night Live. Did you have any idea that sketch was coming out that became so iconic?
No, not at all. Back then, and you know, people thought, well, I probably did too much, but and then they might have been right.
No
you know.
way. That was the best.
But we had a lot of laughs with it, you know, and they were good people. They were nice. They did it in a nice way, and we had a lot of fun with it. I mean,
George went.
some people like it, some don't. George, I really enjoyed working with him. He's a good man.
You did the final episode of Cheers, right?
Yeah.
If there were a hurricane named Ditka, do you think that would be the last hurricane that ever came?
That'd be full hot air.
This guy's name's Bill Norton from Fairfield, Connecticut.
Norton.
And he wants to know why Sweetness, why Peyton didn't get to.
I knew you were going to ask
You knew I
that.
was going to ask that? The touchdown in the Super Bowl.
That was probably my fault more than anything. I just didn't think it was important, you know, who scored. The fact that we
about the
scored.
team, yeah.
And I was wrong. There's no question about it.
Why was it wrong?
I didn't know that it meant that much to him.
Okay.
You know? And but then I can see why it did. But I wasn't thinking about that at the moment.
It was for the whole
And then,
the whole
you
team.
know, after the game, when somebody mentioned it to me, I really felt bad about it, and I still feel bad about it. But Walter Payton was the greatest football player I ever saw
Sweetness.
because he was unselfish. He could block as well as he could run. He could catch. He could do everything. He thought he could punt, but he wasn't that good at punting. And just a terrific guy. And that's one thing. If I could change it, I would. I can't change it. You know, it is what it is. But I just didn't. I didn't think about it. I didn't think it was that important, and then it was important.
I remember being a kid and watching that game. It was one of the most incredible things. And then watching you guys do the Super Bowl shuffle. You guys were larger than life. You were
I didn't do the Super Bowl.
No,
they
he
did.
was
We did
upset with the Super Bowl
reboot.
shuffle,
Sorry,
yeah.
the reboot. Yeah. But that was a little too much, the Super Bowl shuffle.
No.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing. You know, people made a lot of comments about the guys. You know, but they shot that before the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So that was all. You know,
Confident group.
pretty egotistical group
Sort of a
people.
Jets philosophy.
Well, when I heard, I said, God, you know, and I said, what the heck? If you don't think you're going to win the Super Bowl, you are going to win it. So what the hell?
Well, that's the thing as a coach, right? You
Yeah.
need to toe that line between controlling your players, but also like letting them do their thing.
This was our key players on our football team. The Gary Fensicks, the Dan Hampsons, Mike Singletaries. I mean,
Yep.
These were the key guys. This was
Mongo.
our defense. Mongo, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell, it's okay. Do it. Sing all you want to.
You're part of like the Chicago resurgence in the 80s. I mean, there was nothing in Chicago forever, and then you had Ditka and his Bears, you had Jordan and his Bulls, and then you had Sandberg and the Cubs, the mid to late 80s, where it happened in time in the second city, baby.
Well, yeah, it was a good time for Chicago sports. But, you know, Michael Jordan was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I know. Incredible.
So, I mean, and Scottie Pippen and guys, the team they put around him, the coach they had, That was fun. And the Blackhawks, too.
Yeah.
I go all the way back with the Blackhawks, Bobby and Stan and all those guys. I used to hang out with those guys. Nobody drank more beer than hockey players.
Yeah.
Canadians are the best.
They're the toughest guys out.
Nobody drinks more
100%.
beer. Yeah, I think you guys would be real good on ice skates.
I think that would be. Would you? If we get on ice skates, would you come watch?
You're the goalie. You're not going anywhere. You're sitting right in front of that net.
Get why? Jordan's a huge golfer, and apparently he bets big time, like $1 million closest to the hole. You ever had a chance to play with Jordan down here?
I played with Michael before, but I don't bet that kind of money. First of all, I don't have that kind of money. Second of all, to bet that kind of money on a golf course, you got to be insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
You know, Phil Mickelson said Jordan's his favorite place to play with.
Golf, but you can hit a good shot and not get rewarded. You can hit a silly shot and be rewarded sometimes. So all I'm saying is don't bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coach, you're on a desert island. You have one spice you can cook with, one alcoholic beverage on tap, and one non-alcoholic beverage on tap. What do you have?
I'm going to have an iced tea for the non-alcoholic.
Okay.
If I was to have an alcoholic beverage, I don't drink anymore.
Okay, if you
it
were.
would be red wine.
Okay.
I liked that when I was young. I like it. That's why I'm lucky to be old because
Yeah.
I like it so much. I'm not a big salt guy. Pepper,
Okay.
I'm more a pepper
Black
guy.
pepper. I like that. It's solid.
I smoke cigars. I don't smoke as many as I used to anymore. You can probably hear my throat. But I smoke them, and you know that's my one vice.
If you had any advice to give anybody watching at home, if some kid coming up and he's like, I want to be the next Mike Ditka, what should he do?
I learned a thing, the three things that are most important in anybody's life, but I think an athlete's life, is his attitude, his character, his enthusiasm for the sport, what you want to put into the sport. So you got to have a great attitude. It's got to be positive. Can't be negative. You got to, you know, character. You know what character is. If you don't have it, you'll know what it is too. So, and then the enthusiasm thing. I used to always talk about ACE. You know, if you're going to do it with some. Throw yourself into it.
Yeah.
Get involved in it. Get excited about it. And if not, then don't waste your time.
So if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
That's a good point. I never thought football was work. I thought it was play.
Yeah.
It was. And it must have been play. I wasn't getting paid anything. It must have been play. It's like me doing this thing with you guys.
Yeah.
Would it change your life? No. Would it change my life? No. So somebody might get something of value out of this interview. And some people might say, what the hell are they talking about?
Actually, to be honest, it changed. I think it changed our lives.
Yeah.
Thank you. And he called. He's like, I'm going to call Coach. I'm like, no, you're not. And it goes to voicemail, and then we're talking, having beers. Probably we shouldn't. We should probably be having more of this.
Yeah.
And you call back. You're like, what do you want? I was like, that is the coolest thing ever. That's Ditka on the line.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a run.
Yeah.
We've had fun. And, you know, you can't take away your memories, good or bad. You know, you're going to have them. You learn from the bad ones. You enjoy the good ones. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ride it out to the end and see what happens. And we drank a lot of beer. We really did.
Yeah. That would have been fun. You think we could have hung with you? You think we could have had a couple beers?
Yeah.
You probably could have handled it.
Yeah. I guess we could do iced teas. Who's bigger, Fridge or him? Is it William Perry or him, you think?
I think Fridge might have
Just a couple?
Who's better looking? That's more important. Yeah, that's.
Fridge.
You might be better proportion too, but
We gotta come up with an iced tea wine mix. It'll be like the Mike Ditka.
He's got 8 different wines.
no, I don't think that's going to work.
You know what my uncle
You
likes to
don't
drink?
mix certain things. You don't mix.
No.
My uncle likes to drink the Guinea Sangria. He likes to mix red wine with Diet Coke. He drinks that every day.
I think I'll let him have
I
that.
swear to
That
God.
sounds actually horrible.
That's his
No,
thing.
it's worse than that.
Yeah.
It's like $2 Chuck he buys from Trader Joe's and then a Diet Coke and he's set for the rest of the day, man. Ralphie's gonna outlive us all. He's drinking formaldehyde.
That's true. That might be it. Cal Sayers was the greatest running back, running with a football that I've ever been around.
Really?
Running, I'm talking running receiver in today's sport. In today's game, no telling how many passes he would have caught coming out of the backfield. You play with him and Coach Payton. I mean, that's pretty
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say. I know you got a tea time coming up, and I hope that you get a hole-in-one for us today.
You said hole one?
Yeah, I'd like you to do that today, if that's okay. Maybe on the 4th hole.
I'll work on that.
Okay.
I'll go to work on that. I got about 2 chances of that, slim and none. And
I'm not slim.
And I ain't none.
I think this is the day.
Sweetberry's taken the nation by storm. In our first 2 years, we opened 19 stores in 6 states, and we're just getting started. Our vision is to open a Sweetberry in every major city and suburb across the country and eventually expand internationally. What makes Sweetberry so special is its simplicity. Because we have a cold kitchen, that eliminates the need for a hood, a gas line, or any expensive kitchen equipment, which lowers our build-out cost and our footprint, making it extremely easy to open Sweetberries. By partnering with experienced operators through franchising, we'll be able to continue our rapid expansion. By investing in us, we'll be able to franchise at an even faster rate, and before you know it, you'll be able to eat at a local Sweetberry near you. Not only are we helping entrepreneurs realize their dreams of owning their own business, but we're also serving food that we can feel good about to the public at affordable prices.
Sweetberry started as an idea to bring our favorite foods like acai, poke bowls, and smoothies to our local neighborhoods. What we realized was that we were building something so much bigger. There's been so much positive feedback and demand for our healthy products that we ended up opening 12 stores in our first year. I mean, who does that? We know that healthy food is here to stay, and we want to keep building this thing. Our mission is to bring healthy food at affordable prices to local communities everywhere.
We are more than just a restaurant. We are a movement. One of the initiatives that we launched earlier this year was a series called Made with Good Vibes. And immediately after launching our first video, we realized how sharing our journey inspired young individuals.
Why the campaign and why should you invest? We're looking to raise $1 million so that we can help grow the franchise part of the business across the country. Please join our team, and together we can bring nutritious, delicious, and affordable food to a neighborhood near you.
We are launching this campaign because we've received tremendous feedback from our customers and people that really believe in our brand. We want to give everyone the opportunity to participate on this journey with us. So join us at Sweetberry as we bring healthy food and good vibes to local communities.